There is a drink that millions of Americans over 65 reach for every single night before bed. Some believe it helps them sleep. Some believe it is good for their heart. Some believe it is the healthier choice, the smart swap, the responsible decision. And every one of them goes to bed without knowing what is actually happening inside their body in the dark. What if the beverage sitting on your nightstand right now, the one that feels harmless, even comforting, is silently destroying your kidneys while you dream? Not dramatically, not with pain, not with any warning at all, just quietly, night after night, in the dark. Place both hands gently against your lower back, just beneath your rib cage, one on each side of your spine. Press softly. Those two spots are your kidneys, two fist-sized organs that have been filtering your blood without a single day off for over 6 decades. They have never asked for recognition. They have simply worked, every minute, every night, including last night. And last night, if you reached for any one of the 4 beverages I'm about to show you, those kidneys were not resting. They were struggling through an invisible emergency that left no trace by morning, except the kind of slow, cumulative damage that shows up in a blood test years later and leaves your doctor with a look on his face you never wanted to see. The National Kidney Foundation estimates that more than 37 million Americans have chronic kidney disease right now. 90% of them do not know it, because the kidneys do not scream when they are hurting. They whisper. And most people never learn to listen until it is too late. I have been a nephrologist, a kidney specialist, for more than 25 years. I have sat across from patients who came into my clinic with lab results they did not understand, describing symptoms they had dismissed as simply getting older. Fatigue, swollen ankles, waking up 3 times a night, foggy thinking in the mornings. They had blamed the years. They had blamed stress. They had blamed everything except the glass they drained every evening before turning off the light. Tonight, that changes. There are 4 beverages. They are not exotic. They're probably in your kitchen right now. And one of them, the one we reach at the end, is going to surprise you in a way that may genuinely change what you do before you go to sleep tonight. If this is the kind of information that should reach more people, and I believe it should, subscribe to this channel right now. This is where we talk about what your body actually needs after 65, not what the commercials say, what the science shows. Now let me explain what is happening inside your kidneys while you sleep, because once you understand the mechanism, everything else will make complete sense. Most people think of the kidneys as simple filters, but your kidneys do not do the same job at midnight that they do at noon. They follow a biological rhythm, a circadian cycle, as precise as your sleep cycle. During the day, they filter aggressively, clearing waste and balancing electrolytes. But as evening arrives, they receive a signal to shift gears, to enter what researchers call a nocturnal repair state, a window where cellular maintenance happens without the pressure of high-volume filtration. This is when kidney tubular cells regenerate. This is when inflammatory proteins accumulated during the day are cleared. This is the nightly maintenance cycle that keeps your kidneys functioning across decades. After 65, this repair window becomes fragile. A 30-year-old kidney filters approximately 120 milliliters of blood per minute. By 70, that same kidney may filter 60 or less. The reserve is shrinking. The margin for error is narrowing. And critically, unlike your liver, which regenerates, your kidneys cannot rebuild what they lose. Every unit of function that disappears is gone, permanently. So when a beverage disrupts the nocturnal repair signal in the 2 to 3 hours before sleep, your kidneys do not pause recovery and resume it later. They abandon it entirely. They switch back into emergency filtration mode and remain there, working through the hours when they should be healing, accumulating an invisible deficit that compounds silently, night after night, year after year. Think of it this way. Imagine your kidneys are 2 senior engineers who have been running a filtration plant since before sunrise. By 10 at night, the plan is for them to hand controls to the overnight maintenance crew and rest while the machinery is serviced. But someone keeps sending urgent chemical alerts to the plant, so the engineers stay. They handle it. They tell themselves it is fine. But the maintenance crew never gets to work, and slowly, across months and years, the machinery that was never properly serviced begins to fail in ways that cannot be reversed. That is what certain beverages are doing to your kidneys every night, and the people drinking them believe they are making a healthy choice. I want to tell you about a patient I will call Richard. He was 72, active, sharp, proud of how he took care of himself. He watched his diet, took his medications faithfully, and every night before bed he drank something he had deliberately chosen as the healthier option. He had been doing it for 11 years. When I reviewed his labs, his creatinine told a story his symptoms had been quietly writing for a long time. His kidneys were functioning at less than 50% of what they should have been for his age. Stage 3 chronic kidney disease. He had no idea, because stage 3 does not feel like disease. It feels like fatigue. It feels like needing the bathroom at night. It feels like ankles that are a little puffier than usual. It feels like getting older. He looked at me and said, "But I have been doing everything right." He had, except for one thing. 1 glass, every night, in the dark. We will come back to Richard, because what changed for him and how quickly his body responded is the most important part of this story. But I need to show you the 4 beverages first, because understanding exactly how they damage your kidneys is what makes the solution meaningful. What I have described so far, the narrowing filtration capacity, the disrupted repair cycle, is only part of the picture. The full system connecting your kidneys to your blood pressure, heart, bones, and sleep quality is something I have put together in a complete protocol for people in this age group. If you want to access it now, the link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. You can also scan the QR code on your screen right now if you're watching on television. Take a look at it, and then come back, because what comes next may be the most important thing you hear today. Number 4 surprises people every time. It carries the word natural on its label, sometimes the word healthy, sometimes a picture of fruit so vivid it looks like a farmer's market, commercial fruit juice, cranberry, orange, grape, marketed to older adults as a source of antioxidants and urinary health benefits. Here is what the label does not tell you. 8 ounces of fruit juice in the evening floods your bloodstream with concentrated simple sugars at precisely the moment your body is preparing to slow down. No fiber to buffer the absorption, no protein to slow the response. The sugar enters fast, triggering a glycemic spike that your aging kidneys must immediately begin to process, pulling them back from their nocturnal repair state into high-alert filtration mode. The mechanism is called osmotic stress. When blood sugar rises suddenly, solute concentration in the bloodstream increases. Your kidneys respond by drawing water from surrounding cells to dilute the excess, creating cellular dehydration even as you believe you are hydrating yourself. Research through the American Diabetes Association has consistently shown that repeated glycemic spikes accelerate kidney disease progression in older adults, even in people who are not diabetic. The kidneys do not distinguish between a diabetic spike and a juice-induced one. They simply see the demand and respond. The person drinking cranberry juice to protect their kidneys is, in many cases, doing exactly the opposite. Number 3 carries even more emotional weight, because it is not just a health choice, it is a memory, something warm, something comforting, something passed down through generations. Warm milk before bed. The instinct makes complete sense. The tryptophan has a mild sedative effect. The ritual creates calm. For younger adults, it is essentially harmless. But after 65, the equation changes in a way that is almost never discussed. Milk contains phosphorus and calcium, minerals that healthy young kidneys process effortlessly. In a 70-year-old kidney functioning at 60% capacity, the same minerals arrive at a system that is already stretched. Phosphorus in particular becomes problematic when kidney function declines, because the kidneys can no longer excrete it efficiently. It accumulates in the blood. It disrupts the calcium-phosphorus balance. Over time, elevated phosphorus damages the blood vessels supplying the kidney tissue itself. accelerating exactly the vascular deterioration that leads to further filtration loss. The image I use with patients is this. Imagine pouring a slow, steady stream of fine mineral sediment into a filter that is already partially clogged. Each small amount seems manageable, but the sediment accumulates, and one day the filter cannot keep up. A glass of warm milk before bed came from your mother, but your mother's kidneys were younger than yours are now. Number 2 is alcohol. A glass of wine, a small whiskey, a cold beer to close out the day. For millions of Americans over 65, this is a ritual, a reward. I am not here to lecture, but I need to show you what happens biologically after 65 when alcohol enters your system before sleep. Alcohol is a diuretic. In older adults, the diuretic effect is amplified because aging kidneys are already less efficient at conserving water. 1 glass of wine before bed can trigger dehydration that a younger person would not experience from 3 glasses. And nighttime dehydration for aging kidneys is not merely uncomfortable. It is dangerous. When blood volume drops, the kidneys release hormones that constrict the blood vessels feeding the kidney tissue. Renal vasoconstriction. Less blood flow means less oxygen to kidney cells. Less oxygen means cellular stress. And cellular stress, repeated across hundreds of nights, means permanent loss of nephrons, the microscopic filtration units inside your kidneys that, once destroyed, do not return. Alcohol also elevates cortisol during the hours when your body should produce its lowest levels of the day. Elevated nocturnal cortisol raises blood pressure, and mild but sustained elevated blood pressure during sleep hours is one of the most consistent predictors of accelerated kidney damage in adults over 65. Your kidneys are not resting when you drink before bed. They are processing a diuretic, managing vascular constriction, responding to inflammatory signals, fighting elevated pressure, all while you believe you are unwinding. This was Richard's drink of choice for years, until he gave it up and chose something he considered even healthier. Something with no sugar, no alcohol, no calories. Something the label told him was the responsible option. He had no idea it was the most dangerous item on this list. If you have stayed with me this far, you already understand that protecting your kidneys is not simple. It is a system, a daily rhythm of choices that compound across time in ways that standard blood tests catch only after the damage is done. The complete protocol, covering not just what to avoid but exactly how to support kidney function after 65, is available now. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Scan the QR code on your screen if you are watching on television. This is the protocol I wish I could have handed Richard 11 years earlier. Now, number 1, the most dangerous beverage for your kidneys after 65 is not the one with the most sugar. It is not the one with the most alcohol. It is the one specifically marketed as the safe alternative to both. Diet soda, zero sugar soda, the drink that hundreds of millions of people reach for because they read the label, made the calculation, and concluded, at least this one is not harmful. I have watched patients make this substitution with genuine pride, and I have had to sit across from them and explain what research from Harvard Medical School and the National Institutes of Health has been showing for more than a decade. Diet sodas contain phosphoric acid. They contain artificial sweeteners that, despite having no calories, trigger metabolic responses that are only beginning to be fully understood. But most critically for kidney health, they trigger glomerular hyperfiltration. The kidneys begin filtering at an accelerated rate beyond their normal capacity. In the short term, this looks like normal function. Blood tests may appear fine, but hyperfiltration is the equivalent of running an engine at maximum RPM, not for a sprint, but continuously, for hours every night, for years. The nephrons experience accelerated wear. Inflammation accumulates in the kidney tissue. Microscopic scarring begins. And because the kidneys compensate so effectively at first, by the time a creatinine test reveals a problem, significant and permanent damage has already occurred. The phosphoric acid compounds this by acidifying the urine and altering the chemical environment inside the kidney tubules, creating conditions researchers have linked to increased kidney stone risk, accelerated nephron loss, and progression of chronic kidney disease in adults with even mildly reduced function. You chose zero sugar because you were trying to protect yourself. That intention was real. But the biology does not respond to intentions. It responds to chemistry. This is what Richard was drinking every night for 11 years. The responsible choice. Now let me tell you what happened to Richard. He stopped the evening diet soda completely. He replaced it with something simple. He made 2 other small adjustments to his evening routine that took less than 5 minutes per day. And 90 days later, his labs showed measurable improvement. Not a miracle, not a reversal, but a clinically meaningful stabilization that his specialist had not expected to see that quickly. Richard called my office when he got the results. He said, "I cannot believe it was the soda. Your kidneys still have capacity. They still respond to care. The damage already accumulated cannot be fully undone. That is the honest truth, and I will not tell you otherwise. But the damage that has not yet happened can be prevented. And that is everything. Plain water consumed steadily through the late afternoon and stopped about 90 minutes before sleep gives your kidneys the hydration they need without forcing unnecessary nocturnal production. Unsweetened herbal teas, chamomile, ginger, provide warmth and comfort without the chemical burden. Small amounts of unsweetened tart cherry juice show a markedly different metabolic profile than commercial fruit juice and have been studied for sleep quality. These are not exotic. They are accessible. They work with your kidney's biological rhythm instead of against it. If this information reached you today, please give this video a like right now and subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. Tell me in the comments, which of these 4 beverages surprised you the most? I read every response, and your answer shapes what I cover next. If someone in your life, a parent, a sibling, a friend, still reaches for that diet soda every night believing it is the safe choice, share this video with them today. Not tomorrow, today. Because the damage accumulates quietly, and the window to change course does not stay open forever. Subscribe to this channel. The next video continues exactly where this one leaves off, and what we cover next may matter just as much as everything you heard today. Your kidneys have been loyal to you for your entire life. Now you know how to be loyal to them.